Hey, you brought snacks.
No. Today I'm going to talk about how Nintendo won 2017 for gaming and how you and everyone you know will own a Nintendo Switch in 2018.
Okay.
Damn, Ron, you spent a lot of money just on Nintendo in 2017. Just what you were able to bring. What are we talking about?
I want to talk about why Nintendo won 2017. Now, disclaimer, I do not own stock in Nintendo, but I believe strongly that if you did not dip into Nintendo's franchises, if you did not dip into give Nintendo some money, if you have missed out on some key games. So let me start with the beginning of 2017 with the release of the Switch. Obviously, the game started out with The Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. Okay. And The Breath of the Wild isn't just one of the best Zelda games that have come out in the 5-10 year thing. The Legend of Zelda has won Game of the Year award for the Game Awards, the Joystick Awards, IGN's list.
What's the Oscars? What's the comparison to the Oscars?
The comparison to the Oscars would be Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards, and it absolutely won Game of the Year. And if you look at things like Edge Magazine, they go through like a top 100 video games of all time. Breath of the Wild is number one of top of all time, and having put 100 and some other number into this game.
How do you find the time? Oh yeah, you don't.
Let me tell you how I find the time. I want to get in.
Or pay attention to his kids.
I want to get into how I found the time to play Breath of the Wild. Hundreds of hours into the game, you can see that it is a Zelda game like what we played or started when we were kids, which nostalgia does fuel a lot of this. Let's be real. Let's be real. So if you didn't have a Nintendo, you said you were. No. We're going to talk to that. No. So if you don't have that 1986 gold cartridge Nintendo nostalgia that a lot of us have, sure. This game captures those old elements of dropping you into a world, you go figure it out. So after that came out, we also got in the Christmas era, we got some new DLC that even as people like me, it gets Trial the Sword, and there's a Champion's Ballad DLC. So even if you bought the game in March, in December, you have more things to play, and it was $20, it was cheap. So Zelda is the reason, but
for the season? I thought
for the season. For the season.
All right.
Okay, so Zelda.
So beyond Zelda.
Zelda beyond Zelda. Next thing that came down the cart was Super Mario Kart, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So if you have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, which all 7 of us have this game, this unlocked all the characters on that game and all the extra courses and extra colors and all that. So it's all just unlocked.
All for the mere price of $60.
Alright, I already have a Mario Kart.
No, this Mario Kart 8 is again. It won awards this year for being one of the best family games.
Best remake of a game that came out a year ago.
I'll get to that too. I'll still get to that too. But this is cool. So one of the cases that I play Mario Kart 8 again, I have a just turned 3-year-old, just turned 5-year-old, and a newborn. So and my wife and I, we're trying to play this game together. It has a feature for people who aren't that great at Mario Kart, where it auto goes forward and it auto turns. So my 2-year-old can play this game, or 3-year-old can play this game
just
with us.
Just because I cannot parallel park, guys, okay?
I was wondering, why are you doing that? This is why people don't drive sticks anymore, because we have auto go and auto steer.
Fantastic game. Moving forward, ARMS, fantastic fighting game. I think I brought that over here too. Do you like fighting games?
Anytime you say ARMS, I just think Wild Arms, which is a great game.
Wild Arms is a great game. That's true.
All right.
Okay. Let's jump ahead. We'll talk about the other game that is not Zelda. That's a shame that this game came out the same year that Zelda did. Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay, I will give you, this is the one game that would interest me, because I've watched, some people play through.
So Odyssey is super full, super thick. It can take as long as you want to play. After you beat the end game, which, talking about, even if you didn't grow up with like playing Super Mario Brothers or Mario 64, there's enough old stuff and homages to those things as you're playing through. It's like, oh wow, especially the end sequence of things that they make you do, which I'm certainly not going to spoil. It is, wow, that was a fantastic trip through, like, wow, they really put everything together.
It looks like an awesome game.
And then after you're done, then they're like, oh, by the way, here's the new stuff. So people like me, again, who want more of a challenge, there's more to it. I have 600 and some, almost 700 moons, and it's fun. It is still fun to play, even after I have completed the main game. So, Mario Odyssey. And then also, if you have the breakfast cereal, it can be an amiibo and unlock extra stuff for the game.
Do you need something else for the amiibos, or do they just work with the base system?
They work with the system. This controller right here, you can touch it right there. So also now Tina, so again, these games that I've rattled off are just Nintendo games. Why did I get a chance to play The Legend of Zelda for 120 some hours? The real appeal of the Switch, and this is why I believe that it's sold so well across 2017, is the fact that I can play this thing anywhere. So I have Doom on the PlayStation 4, which is a fantastic game. I have Skyrim on the Xbox 360, but I never did get a chance to finish those games because life, kids, work, whatever.
Right.
What really gets to me about this system is I can take this thing and play these games that I do not have time to play anywhere I go. So I have rebought some games like Skyrim, like Doom, because now I can actually finish them and take them places. So I can play, if I was being rude.
That would be the second point that would interest me in buying this, because more third-party developers are going to the Switch.
Absolutely. So it's not just Nintendo franchises that are going to
make
this.
the point for him.
Yes, she did. Thank you.
So the reason I have a Switch is because it's a handheld system that just happens to be a console too.
And Nintendo,
it's not a console, and I think that's what sold it to me. Was like,
console.
I can take this anywhere I want
on the go,
and I can put it on my TV.
And
that's awesome.
I
mean, they've been trying to do that before with the PSP, with the PS Vita. So it's not like they invented the technology, but they kind of perfected it because it looks damn good on TV, and it looks good on.
Nintendo does the one thing that Nintendo has done since like the Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64 is they do handheld wonderfully. They have one of the best systems for handheld. I don't think anyone else beats them on that market.
Right, just ask Game Gear or TurboGrafx
Express
or
Atari Lynx.
PSP.
Lynx.
Right.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Lynx.
Genesis.
Yeah, that's it. What's up?
Nintendo's going to kick your ass no matter what
Yeah,
at handhelds. Right. So I think that's why
Systems?
This is. So I'm siding with you, Rob. Maybe they did win 2017 as far as video games.
And again, and you said third parties. So
I don't know about cereals, but definitely.
So third parties, as I said, Bethesda's investing, EA's investing. The graphical horsepower of the Switch is not up to as good as the Xbox One or the Xbox One X or the PS Pro or whatever, but Doom looks good enough, especially on this screen, that it's completely playable and it's fine. And again, it's on the go. Skyrim, I mentioned this as an example. I had the choice to buy Skyrim VR, which is going to be the best thing. Dragons coming down in VR, how cool is that? Or Skyrim on the go. And I thought about what I do, where I go. Skyrim on the go is going to win every time versus me sitting down in an isolated area. NBA 2K8. Yeah, 2K8. It is the best version of NBA 2K. It's online, and it works where you can go. I actually heard a story of a guy who was like, I'm going to get NBA 2K, and then it's like, he heard that he can play it on the Switch, which means he was like, oh my gosh, I have a security job. I can freaking play. Can I play online? Yes, you can. This dude can play the NBA games, the FIFA games, whatever, at his work when he's sitting there twiddling his thumbs with the Nintendo Switch.
And not watching the screens.
And not watching the screens, exactly.
Not all security guards are like that.
No, security guards like that. You're completely safe. When you think of indie games, what console system or home system do you think of, or portable system do you think of the most?
Indie
games.
The PS Vita.
PS Vita. You're right. The Vita, one of the best things about the Vita is the indie scene flocked to that system. Mm-hmm. Now the indie scene is on the Nintendo Switch.
Well, that also could be because no one's making games for PS Vita.
But no, there's still games coming out. Our boy 2064 Read Only Memories is out on Vita. Boom.
Shout out to Two Mellow. Thank you for all the music, buddy.
And buy his vinyl. It's dope.
Everybody buy his vinyl. He's a great musician.
Indie game developers have flocked to the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So games like Stardew Valley, games like Oxenfree, games like there's a plethora of these type things. If you like short contained adventures, Pyre and things like that, all these games have showed up on the Nintendo Switch.
And they're just
Rocket
digital,
League.
right? They're just digital.
They're just digital.
Yeah.
It's really a good scene for good like RPGs, action games, puzzle games, Enter the Gungeon, all these type things that and I know you like games like Undertale and things like that. There's a lot of these type games that are cheap and expensive on Nintendo Switch. So, Nintendo really brought it with the Switch, brought it with third-party developers, brought it with indie game developers too. And finally, the thing that Nintendo really destroyed things on, not just like handhelds, because we still buy 3DSs, we still talk about 3DS games.
You bought a limited edition 2DS for
that's for
the 80th time.
It's for the children, not for me this time. It was an excuse. Metroid won, best handheld game. Metroid is fantastic on
a
the
remake
3DS.
of an amazing game.
It was a remake of a great game, but it was greatly well done. So Metroid is dope. The final thing I want to talk about is, and how can we not talk about it, is the SNES Classic. So 2016 was the NES Classic. No one could find it, but it was 30 games for $60. 2017, we saw the SNES Classic. 21 games for $80. But these 21 games that they've included on the SNES Classic are legitimately hold the test of time very well. We have Thomas hits like Super Metroid, everyone on Earth. If you haven't played Super Metroid, go stop watching this video and start playing it right now.
Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana, which is the game that...
Final Fantasy 6 or 3, whichever you want to...
Fantasy 6, Yoshi's Island, Earthbound. There's so much high quality on that system that it's worth well more than the $80.
Well, because they know the games that they picked were top rated games of all time.
Of all time. We have things like the cool amiibo that came out in 2017 that are still these are legitimately cool figures.
So you're talking to us who mainly do have a Switch or are going to get one. But you're saying that Nintendo won 2017. Why do you think that? Because I think a lot of people would argue that Nintendo didn't really win. I mean, they just keep regurgitating the same thing over and over. Well, I mean, at least that's the arguments I see. I see your point. But I mean, do you have charts? Do you have sales?
So the Wii U sold 13 million units.
The entire time
the entire time, so it was out for 5 years. The entire time it sold 13 million units. But the Wii U is also home to some of the best games you can get: Super Mario 3D World, the original Splatoon, Super Mario Maker, etc. These franchises Nintendo can bring to a new audience, such as Splatoon, like what we were talking about, to the Switch. The Switch has sold already 10 million units from March to December. So it is well on the way of 2017. So it is well on the way to eclipse.
So basically it's already eclipsed the Wii U after, a short amount of time.
It'll easily eclipse the Wii U by fiscal year of March. And it could be on the level of the original Wii, which was 100 million units.
In its lifetime.
In its lifetime. It could totally happen. So it's not just me that's saying this. Game of the Year awards are saying this. Number of Switch sales are saying this. Heck, how hard was it to find a Switch when, around the Christmas time?
Well, Nintendo is very much like Apple. I mean, it is impossible to find this stuff at first. You either pre-order, and even if you try to pre-order, the SNES Classic, the Switch, all the games, the limited edition games. It's crazy.
It's crazy. What gets me excited about 2018 in the Switch, again, mainly indie stuff that's coming to the console. Third parties are getting into this, going to be releasing more content that, again, I didn't get a chance to play. Sonic Mania is another example of a game that I bought on the PS4, and I enjoyed it, but I was like, crap, I should have bought this on the Switch, because then I could take it with me wherever I go. There's going to be more and more games like that, in addition to new content that third parties are coming out with. There's going to be a new Metroid game, which I can't wait for a new Metroid game.
And I think Square Enix said that the Switch was a viable system for the next Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy they really want to bring out another Final Fantasy. You love I Am Setsuna. Square Enix is also embracing the digital-only download facility for new RPGs that are in the classic 16-bit style. And Nintendo will inevitably release another Smash game, but I don't know if it'll be based on the Wii U or new stuff. Also, Nintendo is coming out with a Nintendo Online service that'll be, I believe, $20 a year, and what that gets you is unlimited access to Nintendo's NES and SNES back library, and those are games that you will be able to play as much as you want, and some of them online. So for $20 a year to play a whole bunch of classic games and NES games and SNES games.
Okay, so it's not just one game a month. You're talking several games a month?
Several games a month. 2 or 3, 4, something like that. And
that's not several, that's a handful.
That's a few if we want to use what the numbers are.
Alright, fine, that's not several.
But it's not $80 a month or $50 or $60 like PlayStation or Xbox. This is $20 a year for this access.
That's not bad, actually.
So in conclusion, we have 2018... We're going to have franchises like Fire Emblem. We're going to have an actual Pokemon game on a system. Not necessarily handheld. This is the first time there's been a core Pokemon game that's going to be on a system. That's going to be amazing.
I've got 2 questions for you, Rob.
Okay.
As I understand Super Mario Odyssey, this hat, Mario throws it at things and it captures them.
It captures them. His name is Cappy. He captures things. That's right.
Okay. Can you take off the hat for a minute?
I don't know if I want to do that.
What system won 2017?
Oh, dude, PlayStation 4 by far. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment below. Did I forget any games like Mario Rabbids, which is fantastic that you should check out? Do you agree, disagree with my list, or am I just a Nintendo consumer whore and Nintendo didn't actually win 2017, which they did? Now I want to eat some Nintendo cereal. It's for breakfast now.
I like to suck Mario's ass.
Can we kick it off like that, please?
Well,
That's all I can't take you seriously, Rob. You jumped the shark.
Did not jump the shark.
You bought Super Mario
The
cereal.
cereal is delicious.
Dude, that, like...
It's sealed.
There's another box.